planners and bullet journals, art projects, organized planner sheet. Well, hello planner babes, and welcome to Organized Planner Chic. I'm Lucinda, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and select the bell for notifications. Well, first, I want to thank all of my awesome Patreon members who help make it possible to create videos like this. Well, thank you so much. And if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. Okay, everyone, what we're going to be doing is making a junk journal using mostly Dollar Tree supplies, but we're going to start off with some envelopes. So I actually did a DIY recently creating some traveler's notebook inserts using number 10 envelopes from bills, junk mail, etc. And of course I was doing it for a passport size, so I didn't need the entire number 10 envelope. So what I had left from trimming that down were all these pieces of paper. And so before I had two separate inserts, this time I am putting together all of those papers. So I think it's like 19 sheets, 19 clippings from number 10 envelopes to make a junk journal. And what I'm doing here is I picked out about, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 of them that I wanted to use to keep open. So, you know, when I cut them down, then I taped the opening from cutting them down with some clear tape from Dollar Tree. You didn't see that on the screen, but I did the same thing in the previous video. But then I kept about 6 or 7 of them open at the top so that I could, or open on the side in this case, so that I could put like tags in there and things that you could see and pull out. So this part of cutting it down and then right here taping the pieces together are the same processes as creating those inserts for traveler's notebooks, but everything else is totally different. So of course, if you haven't already started a project, you would take an envelope, cut it down for the size that you want it to be, or use the full envelope if you want. Tape up the part where you cut it if you cut it, and with clear tape, and then you're going to take some masking tape from Dollar Tree or from wherever, and you're going to tape the pages together. So I just put the tape across the center vertically and horizontally just to make sure it's covering both sheets of paper, and then I just cut off the excess and use my bone folder. You could use the handle of scissors to do the same thing. And then the ones that I left open on the side, I'm just marking with a Tombow dual brush pen just to put some color to remember that this is where there's an open pocket. And of course you can have open pockets at the top or on the side. I just did all of mine on the side, and then later on I might sometimes cut the top of some as I start working in my junk journal and put some stuff in the pockets on the side, and then I would just tape the pocket on the right side where it was open before. And then you just keep adding pages with the masking tape and trimming the excess on the right side and folding it to make sure it lines up on the right. So it can stick out a little bit and not be perfectly aligned on the left side where all the tape has been added, but on the right you want to make sure, well, I guess you don't have to because it's a junk journal, but if you want it to look nice and orderly and neat on the right side, make sure it's lined up on the right, and then don't worry about the left. You'll just use your bone folder or your scissors to help line it up and press down for the right. Now here on the right side we have a spine now from all of the tape that we put together. What's different here, as I said, going forward, is we're going to start right here doing totally different stuff. So we've got a much thicker little booklet now because everything is together, all 19 pages in my case. And then we're going to take another piece of masking tape, as you see right here, and put it along the spine. It's going to really stick because you've got all of that sticky tape already on there. And then just fold it over and use your bone folder or your handle of your scissors to just press that down on the side. And then the same thing on the other side as well. And then after you smooth it, pull down the tape on both sides, you're going to take another piece of masking tape and just put it on top of that. Because the reason why is because the masking tape barely covers over the spine. I mean, it covers the spine, but it just has like maybe 1/8 of an inch of that goes over the sides. And I just wanted it to be a little bit stronger, and so I put some more tape on each side of the spine. and trim the excess, of course. So now our booklet is all done. You could even just use that as your junk journal without adding an additional cover of any kind, or you could wait and put a cover on when you're all done with it. But I decided I wanted to create one, so I had a scrap of cardboard from a Dollar Tree box of cereal that I bought ages ago. I don't eat cereal from the store, but every now and then I might not have the right size that I wanted for a project, so I'd go to Dollar Tree and get $1 and then just donate the cereal somewhere. So I'm just cutting my spine down because I don't need it to be as wide as that is, but when you line it up, you do want to take into consideration that you're going to be adding stuff to this junk journal, so you want it to be a little bit wider than the spine of your booklet. So I just added about 1/8 of an inch on either side to determine my width. Now I'm going to double up my spine. Instead of cutting the excess from where the spine folds, I decided to just use that excess to layer it so that I could have an even stronger spine, because again, on your junk journal you add a bunch of stuff to it. And so I've taped the one side, and now you just want to make sure, since you're layering it, if you're going to do it like that way like I did, that you don't go over that folded part. So I did at first. As you can see, there was some tape there before, and so I'm just cutting into that to make sure everything lines up so that the spine folds on the right side and the left side. And then I added another little piece of tape after I got it all lined up. I guess I'm not looking at that part just yet. Here it is. I added another piece of tape just to secure it even more. So you don't have to do as much tape. You don't have to do as many layers as I'm doing. You don't have to have, when you cut down your spine, if you need to make it smaller, you can just cut the excess. You don't have to do all of this stuff. Sometimes I just go over the top just to make it, I don't know, just to go over the top. So then my piece wasn't straight. So again, you don't really have to do this because it is a junk journal. And so I went ahead and marked it so I could have a nice straight piece to look like a real little booklet. So now you just want to put your booklet inside the cover and make sure everything really fits, so you can trim and etc. if you need to. Now, I had a scrap piece of fabric here. So far, I think everything I've used has been from Dollar Tree. The scissors were from Dollar Tree. The masking tape was from Dollar Tree. Yeah, I guess that's all I've used. Oh, and the box of cereal was from Dollar Tree. So I am using a scrap of fabric that I already had. So I drew about a line about about 1/2 an inch maybe around. And then I'm also tracing the actual cover itself. And you'll see why in a moment. So I'm going to cut on that outside line where I added about 1/2 an inch, maybe not quite that much, all around. And then the reason why I traced around the inside is because I'm going to fold in my hem basically onto the line that was on the inside. So I've done that everywhere already and ironed it. I ironed it because that just makes it so much easier to work with. And now I'm just laying it around the cover to make sure it fits. Now it's okay if it's a little bit too big, because you're going to have fabric over the outside, and that's going to, add some space. So I just fold it all around. I don't do the kind of where sometimes people cut diagonally on the corners, because I would always mess that up. So I just ironed it and I cut the little excess if it seemed like I had some. So now that piece, I just put it off aside because I'm not using it just yet. Now I'm cutting the piece for the very outside of the cover, the one that you'll see whenever it's closed. I was blessed to have this scrap of fabric that has 2 different prints on the inside and the outside, and they're both really beautiful. So now I'm using some Dollar Tree Mod Podge to put on the top to put the outside cover on. And I forgot to put something down on the table first, so I'm going to have some little messes that I have to wipe up. But that's okay. This is a vinyl cover that's on there that I put on some foam board, and so it's really glossy. It's very easy to wipe up and clean up. But of course, it'd be better to have something down there. So I'm just using one of those pot scrapers that I've had for ages to rub in the fabric onto the glue. It just helps to make sure everything's really smooth and that you don't have any bubbles. So if you have that, great. If not, you know, just work it with your hands. Get all messy on it to get it nice and smooth and feel if there's any bubbles or lumps. And now I'm just using my Dollar Tree Mod Podge again around the outside to fold it in. And I didn't need to mark any lines or anything here because I guess it doesn't really matter, but I felt like the inside is, for some reason, the inside is a bigger deal because the outside, when you fold it in, as long as you have some excess, it's not going to be visible anyway when you put the inside piece on there. But the inside piece, it will look kind of catty-cornered, or it might have gaps with the cardboard if you don't cut it the right size. So I hope that makes sense. And so now I just added some Mod Podge on the inside after everything's all folded over for me to put that inside piece on. Of course, I went over the top on all the glue. I'm sure I wasted some. Sorry about that. I don't like to be wasteful. And so now, as you can see, the piece sits right on top of there, and everything looks pretty neat. So I'm just taking my little pot scraper and rubbing everything in there, and of course there's going to be some glue that's going to be spreading over on the other side. So I just take my hand and just rub that in all the way around any place that I see some excess glue, because even though Mod Podge does dry clear, if you have a little mountain of glue, like a little hump, that won't. It'll dry white. So I just smooth it in, and then the excess that's on the table I'm just putting over on the top, and that'll dry clear. And now I'm just taking a little bit and painting it all around the edges, just to make sure that there won't be any corners that pop up that aren't secured with glue, that have little gaps and all of that. And then I just take my hand and just rub it in, and just do that all the way around until everything feels like it's really, really secure. And so again, you just want to rub in anything that is sticking up, and I just try to rub the glue in as much as I can so that I feel comfortable I'm not going to have a little raised spot or a little white spot. And now I decided to just add another little piece of tape in the very center of my little booklet before I put the cover on, and just to give it some more strength. And then I'm just marking, because I had to step away for later, where that center was, because it looks the same as the thinner pieces of tape. So I know where to start working again. And now what I did is I just took my ruler to kind of line up, to have a straight line, and find the center for where I wanted to start putting holes in it. So I'm just taking an awl, an A-W-L, an awl. If you don't have an awl, you can use like a nail. I can't think of what you could use. I guess you could use a safety pin if you have one that's really big. Otherwise, I can't think of what else you could use. So an awl or a nail, a really big safety pin, and that's about all I can think of to punch my holes. So I just found the center, I punched a hole in there, and you want to make sure that you look through the front and the back so that you can make sure your hole is going where you want it to be, because there's a lot of tape in here, and the hole could be going anywhere, which later, when I was trying to decide how to put the cover on, I did it a way that didn't really work at first, and I had some extra holes, but it doesn't matter because I covered all that up. So now you see my head, because once you get the holes all in the booklet, then you want to sit it down and clamp it onto the left side, and then look for the center to line your holes up, so that your holes in the center of the cover will line up with the holes in the center of your booklet. And so that's why you see my head with my stocking cap covering all my dreadlocks. And then what I did, you can just mark them with a pen, which is really what I should have done, and then punch your holes through. But what I decided to do was just find where I need to punch my holes and just do a little small punch, not punch it all the way through. Then I unclipped my little booklet and took my awl and then punched my holes all the way through really well. So remember, you've got a lot of glue in there and cardboard, and so you're going to need to really turn and twist that in there. Make sure your holes are really well defined so that you can see them, and that you can get your embroidery thread or elastic or whatever you're going to use to stitch everything together. So now I'm using some Dollar Tree elastic, which I have been seeing it in the stores more often now, and that's what I'm going to use to stitch through instead of embroidery thread. The Dollar Tree doesn't have embroidery. Well, no, I'm sorry, they do sometimes. I don't know why I chose to use elastic this time, but maybe it's because I had not used this elastic in a while, because it's thinner. And so now I'm just taking a needle from my stash of embroidery needles and like carpet, all those really strong needles that I keep for projects like this. This one has a hook on it because the eye was not big enough on any of the other needles. So yeah, so I have this one, so I tied a knot on the end for how long I wanted the excess to be, and then I just stitched through the holes and checked to make sure everything was going through the right hole. And then once you do it one time, you want to go back around to fill in the stitches, the spaces between stitches, if that makes sense, so that everything, like you can see right here, so that everything is completely stitched and there's no gaps between the stitches. You could have gaps if you're not worried about it being all that strong, but again, I wanted to go over the top to make sure everything was really strong so I could add all kinds of stuff to this junk journal. Yeah, and so I just pulled it tight. So then when I get to the end, I am just tying a knot between, so I'm doing the last piece right here, last stitch right here, and then once I get it through, then I'm going to pull the excess to match the length of the excess that I started with in the beginning when I first started stitching. And then I'm just going to double knot that at the end because I wanted to add some beads, some accessories at the bottom of this as well, just not as long as the elastic that I'm having hang over at the top. So yeah, so I'm just going to tie that in a knot, which it looks like I'm really fidgeting right here to get this. I'm sorry, that's kind of at the base of the screen, but I'm just double knotting that to make sure it stays there. Yeah, and so then I've got my elastic at the top, and oh, that's the top. All that I was just talking about was for the top. I don't know why. I guess because I watched this video as I've been editing and I have to remind myself what it is that I'm looking at. So now I've just been adding beads. So the blue and gold beads that you see on here were actually from an old bracelet that I bought years ago from Dollar Tree, back when they had some really good quality bracelets. And the elastic broke one day. I was just walking down the street and it broke. And so I gathered up the beads and I said, I will use these beads again one day. So I did. But the white beads I bought at Dollar Tree recently, like in 2020. And so then I didn't have enough of the exact same pattern to do, so which worked out because I didn't want to have the exact same pattern on both pieces. So I just did the pattern that I could. So they look really nice. And then with the excess, I just cut that. Oh, I always take the bottom, the last bead, I run the elastic through or thread or whatever it is, and then I bring it back through that same hole for the last bead, and then I double knot it at the bottom. And so now I need to add something to tie around here. I am going to have some beads at the bottom as well. So I'm just using some Dollar Tree ribbon that I am tucking through the center elastic stitch on the outside of this little junk journal. And then I'm just going to trim that to make sure it's the same length on both sides. It's such a pretty ribbon. I love how it's sheer, but it's dark enough that it just looks really good. I don't know, I just like it. And so then I'm taking my Dollar Tree little lighter and I'm burning the ends of the ribbon so that they won't ever fray. Really, really an easy thing to do. And then I'm just going to double knot the ribbon along the elastic in the center that's holding it in place. And this will be my tie for my junk journal. I've got plenty of excess there, no matter how fat it gets. And now I wanted to add elastic. This is what I was talking about earlier, to the bottom. So I'm taking my same needle that I used for stitching and I'm just running some elastic through the bottom. And then I'm going to double knot that so that I can add some decor at the bottom too. Yeah, so I think right here I'm just making sure it's the same length, which really doesn't matter in the end. The train is coming. Can you guys hear it? I know some of you guys like hearing the train. Boy, it's here. Okay, so before I add any beads or anything at the bottom, I just wanted to tie my bow so that I could really see, it would be closed and I could really see how everything looks with the beads at the bottom and kind of help me decide what I wanted to do. So yeah, we got a little pretty bow right there on the end. Okay, so now I'm going to just add a different pattern of beads. These all came from Dollar Tree. I've got gold. I kind of changed my mind a couple of times of what looked good. So I've got gold and this real kind of pretty blue that's almost like a bluish green that I think is gorgeous. I couldn't get the elastic to run back through the bottom of the hole for that color, so I had to switch it up. Yeah, but that is it, you guys. So the little charm I got from Joann's a long time ago, I just thought it would look good on here. And we're done. I hope you guys like it as we flip through it. I just want to thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment and share and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. All of those little things, comments and thumbs up and sharing, all of that stuff really helps my channel a lot. It helps that YouTube algorithm recommend my videos. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're new, thank you for joining. I hope you will subscribe. And you guys, I appreciate you so much. So also, I am on Instagram. If you're not aware, be sure and check me out there at Organized Planner Chic. I have 2 Facebook groups. The one for anyone around the world is called Organized Planner Chic Crew, and there we do giveaways. We just had one, in fact, and we try to stay in touch just about every day with all different types of posts. And I have a local group called Phoenix Planner Friends for Christ, and there we meet in person once a month and have all kinds of planner fun. And then if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. And until next time, everyone, happy planning.